Cornell a distant third, then leading. .04 seconds. It's official. Prices are up. The fifth is next. Start of the late pick 5. We're in the gate. And they're off. Jack's Outlaw is out very quickly, joined by Mike Operator on the outside. And here's Mastermind sprinting through along the rail. And so Mastermind will be the pacemaker. Margot's Boy is up close. And outside of them, Mike Operator. Jack's Outlaw, who broke on top, is just behind them now in fourth, about 4 lengths off the lead through the opening furlongs. Another 2 back to Camaraderie. And then at the back of the field are Tyshawn covering up Air. They move on to the backstretch with Mastermind at a quick tempo, leading it by about 2.5 or 3. Margot's Boy is in second. It's another 3 lengths back. Jack's Outlaw races in third. Mike Operator losing ground fourth. Camaraderie inching up inside of him. 3 clear of Tyshawn and Air. Less than a half mile to travel. And it's Mastermind saying, catch me if you can, with Margot's Boy well spotted to pounce in second. 2 more, Jack's Outlaw third. Then Camaraderie, 5 off the pace in fourth. Tyshawn, Air, and Mike Operator has surrendered. Midway on the far turn, Mastermind, Margot's Boy looming, and Margot's Boy runs right by him, but here's Camaraderie posing a threat, moving into second. Margot's Boy, Camaraderie in pursuit with a furlong left to go. Mastermind has softened up third. They're coming to the 16th pole. Margot's Boy a length and a half. Camaraderie trying very hard to close the gap. It's Margot's Boy, Camaraderie, Margot's Boy, Camaraderie, Margot's Boy. Out finishes Camaraderie. Tyshawn third. Mastermind and Air. Running time 134.12 seconds. They're in the gate. And they're off. Eva's Party gets the first call. Jazzy Empress up alongside, flashing good speed. They're joined by the favorite, She's My Niece, who's a little quicker than both and up to take the lead. We'll Do It Live is well spotted along the rail, just 3 lengths off the pacemaker, followed by 11 out of 10 with a half mile left to go. Love, Honor, and Pay pushed along in the pink, followed by High Flying Gracie. Lightning and Rain is down at the rail. In between is Coconut Girl moving around the turn with Mumbles Brockman at the back. And now She's My Niece shakes loose. 3-length lead. Will Do It Live in pursuit second. These two are dominating coming to the quarter pole. Jazzy Empress third, 11 out of 10 on the outside fourth. Then Mumbles Brockman, they turn for home. And She's My Niece with a 5-length lead. Will Do It Live, 11 out of 10, continues to make some progress on the outside of Jazzy Empress. And a belated bid from Lightning and Rain. She's My Niece blows them away. She's My Niece by close to 10 lengths. Will Do It Live clearly second best. 11 out of 10 was third. Then Jazzy Empress, and a 3-way battle for fourth among Lightning and Rain, Eva's Party, and Mumbles Brockman. Two grays, the last 2 to load. And they're off. Zaffarelli is out quickly. Gregorian Chant with good natural speed. Here's Silver Surfer, and Mas Rapido moves up now to take the 3rd spot. So it will be Zaffarelli, the clear-cut leader, speeding away by 3. Silver Surfer second. Mas Rapido, Gregorian Chant right together. And then Don't Swear Dave on the inside of Redline. Another 3, They Love Sick Blues. Zaffarelli, the target into the far turn. He and Hector Barrios leading it by a length and a half to Silver Surfer. Mas Rapido takes second. Gregorian Chant 3 deep, but just 2 lengths off the lead. Then it's Don't Swear Dave and Redline, who have raced together, and Love Sick Blues at the back. They're coming to the quarter pole behind Zaffarelli Gregorian Chant inching up on the outside. Mas Rapido in between them. Silver Surfer is on the inside. They're a furlong from the finish. Zaffarelli, Gregorian Chant into second. From the back of the field, Love Sick Blues is gathering some serious momentum. And Silver Surfer along the inside. Zaffarelli on the outside. Love Sick Blues storms into second. Zaffarelli all the way under Hector Berrios, fending off a huge bid from Lovesick Blues. In behind them, Silver Surfer, Redline, and Gregorian Chant were battling out the minor awards. 4 minutes. The last one to load is Violent Runner. Sweet Azteca, the 6-5 favorite. They're in the gate, and they're off. And Hot Peppers blasts out of there and quickly opens up a length. Sweet Azteca comes right after her, and so these two hook up right away. They're heads apart. 3 back to Violent Runner in third, followed by Chismosa, and no early speed whatsoever from Lady T. They're sizzling to the half-mile pole. It's Sweet Aztec on the outside, and Hot Peppers now about a half length back in second. These two are 1-2 into the far turn. Chismosa, Violent Runner racing together as one, and it is a distance, almost 15 more to Lady T. Sweet Azteca opens up 2 lengths on Hot Peppers coming to the quarter pole, and Chismosa now moves up to claim the second spot. Chismosa is coming after Sweet Azteca, who went very wide, and Sweet Azteca blows the turn at the top of the stretch. Sweet Azteca, Chismosa, Hot Peppers is resurgent on the inside. What a turn of events. Hot Peppers, Chismosa head and head. Chismosa has the lead. Hot Peppers fighting with her. Sweet Azteca, late run from Lady T. It will be Chismosa and Kyle Frey to win the Las Flores from Hot Peppers. Then it was a battle for third between Sweet Azteca and an oncoming Lady T. No scratches or jockey changes. Backs off. Capo Sorello will go in front of her. And they're off. Spirit Rules is going out for the early lead. Now here's Alluring, and Not a Sinner flies through on the inside quicker than both, and Not a Sinner will set the pace. Alluring tracks from second. They're followed by Bella Poke, who moves up to claim third. Air Force Thunder in the red colors down at the rail in fourth, followed by She's Scintillating. Capo Sorella is widest of all, just 4 lengths off the leaders. Then comes Miss McWhinney, who races on the inside of Spirit Rules, who broke well and is now last. 8 lengths covers them, rounding the far turn, and it's Not a Sinner in front of half a length. Alluring pressing from second. Bella Poke, yellow colors, races third with a quarter of a mile to go. She's Scintillating, trying to get into it. Followed at the rail by Air Force Thunder and Miss McWhinney. They are at the top of the stretch, and Alluring looms up to take the lead. On the inside, Not a Sinner is fighting bravely in second. 4 lengths back, Miss McWhinney is finishing nicely in third. A 16th to go. Alluring puts away Not a Sinner and opens up 3, and it will be Alluring. Alluring wins by 3.5, a comfortable score. Miss McWhinney was second, Not a Sinner third. Spirit Rules in that battle for fourth, alongside Air Force Thunder.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us on this very happy Friday. Happy to be back here at work, of course. Thankful for all the people who filled in for me. People like Michelle Yu, Frank Miramati, Millie Ball, Jessica Pfeiffer, Jeff Siegel. The list is endless. Thanks so much, everybody, for filling in during my brief illness, but it's great to be back, as I mentioned. It's also to be great sitting next to my very first seminar guest for 2024. He's one of the most esteemed clockers anywhere in North America. His name, Toby Turrell. Toby, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Happy New Year belatedly to everybody out there. Hope we're going to kick things off on the big note here.
All things considered, the weather's been pretty good, Toby, this winter so far. Now, we did have a little bit of rain before the meet started, and on Wednesday, we had a bit of rain as well. The main track was closed. That interrupted training. What was the workout tab like this morning? You were here bright and early. What was it like?
It was kind of light today. I think the theory is after a couple of days off, you want to give your horse maybe a good gallop over a good track before maybe you work out. So I think we're in for a big weekend. That's my hope anyway.
We are in for a big weekend. 9 races both today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The weather is fantastic. About low 60s for a temperature, not a cloud in the sky per se. Fast and firm conditions for all 3 days. Now, you saw the workers this morning. Some galloped, some actually did work. Was there maybe one worker, Toby, that caught your eye that we can look forward to going forward?
Yeah, actually, I did a double take on this horse. It was just out of nowhere. Looked down at my watch and I thought it would say 48, something around there for the half mile.
Something average.
Yeah. It said 45.93. Like what? Those are the kind that usually are the kind you're looking for. You know, that when you see the watch, the blood gets racing. A horse's name is Hot, Hot, Hot. So let's hope he runs just close to his name there.
Who's the trainer, Toby? And when do you expect him to maybe hit the races, if you know?
Well, trainer is Richard Mandela, and it was a half-mile work. I'd expect 2 to 3 weeks from now we might see this guy.
Speaking of being surprised, there were a lot of impressive performances opening week. Of course, we had multiple good performances on opening day, including Speedboat Beach in the Malibu and Easter in one of the undercard stakes races, an up-and-coming turf runner for Phil D'Amato. But the one that caught my eye, Toby, was on December 29th. It was the 8th race. It was a first-time starter from the Bob Baffert barn. It was a filly by the name of Kinza. Let's go back and watch and listen to Frank Miramati describe the action of Kinza's debut performance here on December 29th.
We're in the gate. And they're off. And Miss Bo J flies out of the gate. Kinza has good speed, too. These two hook up right away with Tahini a close-up third. Coastal Cowgirl on the outside with the black sleeves is in the thick of it, as is Splendora, who splits that pair to take third. Toulouse de Trogs down at the rail, followed by Petit Ange, 6 lengths off the lead. Creative Quality is next. It's a gap of 3 to the next flight. Where's My Ring is toward the back of the field, racing on the inside of She's the Law, and it's another 3 to Motet. Around the far turn, and Kinza is the leader, 3/4 of a length. Miss Bo J in pursuit, second. A length back to Coastal Cowgirl, 3 deep in third. Splendora's in between horses. Here's Tahini moving into contention on the outside, only 3 lengths off the lead with a wide and nice bid as the field turns for home. It's Kinza just in front, Miss Bo J, followed by Coastal Cowgirl. Tahini on the outside, Splendora at the fence. Final furlong, Kinza has widened to lead by 4. Splendora comes through along the inside, but it's Kinza in a sparkling debut, overwhelming the competition and striding out to win by 7 easy lengths. Second went to Splendora.
Kinza, that performance actually made the door shake, Toby, because we just had a mild earthquake as we were watching the replay here in Southern California. But take a look at this gallop out. 109 and change for this daughter of Carpe Diem. The Beyer speed figure she earned was 96. That's the highest Beyer speed figure of any 2-year-old filly in North America. You saw her train coming into that race. Somehow she paid $13. Were you expecting that type of performance, Toby?
Oh, not at all. Not in the slightest. I'm honest about that. In fact, the evidence to me is you've got a lot of the works on XBTV. I watched them all very closely, as I watch them all. There was a horse that ran opening day that actually outworked this horse pretty handily down the lane, and that horse almost got eased. So it's easy after the fact, and we just watch that, and it is exciting. I'll take nothing away from the excitement, but I will be watching the horse from here, and trying to stamp maybe the brilliance that the horse showed in the race.
And you mentioned, Toby, at the beginning of the seminar that this is the start of a new year. And really, there's hope for everybody, right, with the new year, not only for owners and breeders and horse players and racetrack management, but the new year is obviously something very special, particularly here at St. Anita. It never gets old. We've been doing it a long time, and just the renewal of every year seems to bring more and more enjoyment to all of us.
Well, out here, every day brings that enjoyment. There's just no substitution for this place. That's overwhelming consensus, not only here, but everybody who seems to come here. The new year, I'll give my good friend Mike Pipey a little tip of the hat. He had the right answer.
He usually does.
He usually does. He's never short of things to say. And they asked him about the New Year's resolution. He kept it simple. He said, just have a better year than last year.
That's true for all of us. That's for sure. Speaking of last year, Toby, before we look forward, let's look backwards for a minute. You and I both don't have an Eclipse Award vote, but if you did, I would be curious to pick your mind. Between the two marquee runners that are up for Horse of the Year, in my opinion, White Barrio or Cody's Wish, who would you give the Eclipse to and why?
I would give it to Cody's Wish, probably for the obvious
sentimental reason.
Yeah, I think you get a story like this, once in a lifetime, and then it all comes together, and just 360 circles everything in life. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the uncertainty, the mystery, and all of it. Bill Finley, I think, wrote a tremendous article in TDN as to why he would let the sentiments make the decision on this round, and I agree with him.
I agree with Toby, usually on all of his opinions. We're going to find out who he likes on today's 9-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the changes on today's Friday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, where the track is fast and the turf course is firm. The rail on the turf is out 30 feet for today's action. Here are the early changes. There are no changes in the first, start of the early pick 5. In the second race, no changes. In the third, scratch number 6, Chickasaw, and with that scratch, there's no super high 5 wagering. Traditional pick 6 starts with race 4. No changes. $3 all-turf pick 3 starts with the 5th race. Race also the start of the 50-cent late pick 5. No changes in race 5. In the 6, scratch 2, Halone, and 5, Scarlet Avenue. 2 and 5 are out. There's no show wagering in the start of the late pick 4. 7th race, program scratches of 1 and 6. 8th race begins the golden hour pick 4. We have a blinker note. In the 9th, in addition to the program scratch of number 5, scratch 8, Too Much Info, scratch 11, Trusty Rusty. 8 and 11 are out. Number 10 draws in and will run. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Post time for the opener in 59 minutes at 12 noon. Let's get back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's special guest today is Toby Turrell.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Toby Turrell. He's one of the esteemed clockers anywhere in North America. You can find his work on a daily basis. This is what it looks like. It's a concise one-page sheet that gives his selections for the entire 9-race card, both here at San Anita, as well as at Golden Gate, as well as some of the more important workouts for the day of the runners running as well. You can find his work at casetherace.com. That's casetherace.com. You'll be a better handicapper because of Toby's insight. All right, Toby, we're going to become better handicappers today because of your insight on today's card. Thanks so much for doing the work. And we kick things off in race number 1. If you haven't paid attention yet to San Anita's wagering menu, we've made some changes. The minimum wager now on both trifectas and rolling pick threes is $1. That's been increased from 50 cents to $1 for dollar trifectas and $1 rolling pick threes throughout the entire card. And of course, race 1 begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. The rails today are at 30 feet, and we're sprinting 6 furlongs on the turf course. $50,000 is the claiming tag. We've got a field of 6. The bottom 2 are trained by Peter Urton, and the current choice at a prohibitive 1-5 is number 6, Exaltation, ridden by Juan Hernandez. Why is the betting public going crazy over Exaltation so far, Toby?
Well, I think they're just looking at the number of wins for this 9-year-old.
Got a lot of old timers on today's card, don't we?
You got one right next to this horse.
Exactly right, an 8-year-old.
So, he's got the class. The record speaks for itself, but this is a new year, and he's a year older. And he's dropping in for a little price tag here. So the workout tab is very, very light. To me, it's just signals maybe take a shot here and try to make something happen. You mentioned everybody having a fresh start for the new year. The flip side to that is, we erase a trainer's record that had a tremendous huge year, and that is the trainer of the 3-horse, Keith Cragmile. His record the last half of 2023 was remarkable, and he did it with speed horses. That's the amazing thing. And this number 3, Devil Moon, this is a speed horse, and I get the feeling maybe he can shake loose in here. He's always had brilliant speed. He could work 45 and change as an unraced horse back when Richard Mandela had him. Jetivator, an 8-year-old right next to your 9-year-old. This horse is coming back with some strong workouts. So I'm going to go 3-5 here and try to get some value to kick things off.
It's interesting, Toby, as you look through the past performances for the number of runners that you mentioned, including number 3, Devil Moon, number 5, Jetivator, and number 6, Exaltation. Take a look at their career record at this precise distance of 6 furlongs. We run different distances either on the flat turf course or down the hill. And it seems to me that time after time, there's a lot of distance specialists. And all 3 kind of fit that mold, including the bottom runner, number 6, Exaltation. 4 tries at this precise 6 furlongs on the flat turf course here at San Anita, 3 wins and 1 second. And of course, that's also true for number 3, Devil Moon, your top selection, who currently is a juicy 13-1 on the tote board. Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're on the main track, 1 mile the distance for fillies and mares, $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime, a field of 5, morning line favorite on the bottom, number 5, Midnight Silence from the Patty Gallagher barn. Patty Gallagher already with a win so far this meet. Talk to us about race 2.
Well, that horse, Midnight Silence, is actually training pretty well coming into this race for a $16,000 claimer. The filly next to her, Miss Kayleen, that'll be my selection. She trained way above par going into that race at Del Mar, and she just had a bad trip. I called her 6-7 wide pretty much all the way. And just a very unfortunate post position draw for her that day. Kept her, I think, just from getting closer than she was. Now, with that race under her belt and a few weeks to recover from that race, I think she'll be awfully hard to beat in this race. Number 4, Miss Kayleen gets the call over the aforementioned number 5, Midnight Silence.
Toby, I want to follow up with you on a comment you just made, and you talked about how Miss Kayleen trained above par, using your terminology. When you're watching workouts in the morning, are you looking to see how they work within their class level, or are you just looking at them simply for how they work? In other words, with Miss Kayleen, we know that she's a $16,000 claimer. Did she work above par for a $16,000 claimer or above par for most horses that morning?
Well, it was pretty much for most horses that morning. Now, keep in mind, I was down at Del Mar, and our work tabs were not too large there. But in the case of distinguishing what you were just talking about. When you see a horse that has a lot of run in reserve, that's what I'm talking about. And usually claiming horses don't finish upworks with a lot of run in reserve like that. And she did. She, to me, was showing an indication that she's going to get good here and better be today, because I was really disappointed last time.
Toby Turrell thinks jockey Kyler Fry might have a big day. He likes Kyler's mounts in both races 1 and 2. Race number 3, we're back sprinting on the turf course, 6.5 furlongs in the flat turf course. $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Scratch the 6, make the 7 a first-time gelding, and number 7 Z Bull from the Ryan Hansen barn is the 8-5 morning line favorite, ridden by the master Frankie Dettori. Give us your thoughts on race 3.
Well, we're doing the show here in the studio, and when our good friend Michelle and her husband Ryan Hansen run a horse,
you better tread lightly if you pick against them.
Well, you want to speak kindly about them, so we're going to do that here with number 7 Z Bull, recently gelded, but wow, I mean, first time out this horse wins. You talk about horse for course. It was out of the chute here on the same layout on the turf. And then just things haven't gone right ever since. I think the horse is dropping to cash today is the right expression. I would use Mr. Dettori in the saddle here. And interestingly, on a social note, Brian Beach, who I just run into all over the place, including New Orleans, he had Frankie out the other night for a nice little, I think it was a Michael Jackson, some kind of hologram performance in West Hollywood there. So Frankie Dettori, the jockey to the stars here.
Frankie Dettori doesn't miss many parties, does he, Toby? Whether he's skiing up in the slopes here in Southern California or hanging out at a nightclub, he knows how to live life, that's for sure.
And so does Brian Beach. I don't think he's got Brian Beach beat.
And speaking of Zabul, Toby's top selection in race number 3, that race he exits at Del Mar has already produced 3 next out winners. Certainly a live race that Zabul exits. Race number 4 begins the $1 pick 6 sequence. That's right, no more 20-cent jackpot nonsense. Traditional $1 pick 6, and we kick things off here in race number 4, going a mile and a 16th on the main track for $10,000 claimers. Field of 5. We thought we had a good jockey colony for the first week. We were missing Joel Rosario, who's back to riding. He rides the morning line favorite here. Number 3, Paco's Pico from the John Sadler barn. Good to see Joel back here in Southern California. Jockey agent Ron Anderson trying to dominate the jockey standings. Give Juan Hernandez and Flavian Pratt a run for his money, with both Joel Rosario and Frankie Dettori being represented by the super agent.
Yeah, was looking down at him this morning in action.
Talking about Ron or Joel?
Ron, he was right below me, hustling as usual with the big clipboard, the oversized iPad.
He doesn't miss a beat, does he?
Doesn't miss a beat. And in this case, I think he's on the right horse here, number 3, Paco's Pico. We just talked about claiming horses that have that little extra in the morning that you see that gives you extra confidence, and that applies here. This horse has 15 or 20 works easily since over the course of the last few months, but I believe the last work stands out. And obviously it's not the time of 48-2, but it's just the presence the horse had. Just have that little extra look in the coat and a little extra spring in the step. So in a race like this, that's a standout variable, I think, and hopefully this horse will run to that workout. And number 5, Tembo, very honest, genuine horse here. He really runs every time, this 7-year-old, and he'll run again. So I think that's who this Paco's got to beat.
Toby, I've got a homework assignment for both you and I, and it's just based off of my memory. But last year during the winter meet, I just recall John Sadler winning with multiple droppers like Paco's Pico. He's a bit claim proof. He was a void claim 3 back for $25,000. Now he's in for 10. They do get Joel to ride, so I'm assuming all systems are go. But I just remember John Sadler last year winning with multiple droppers. He's got another dropper later on today's card, a runner by the name of Elector. I want to see how John Sadler does with these droppers. And I want to go back and do the research, which I didn't have time to do quite yet. But I just recall off of memory, and I don't know if you have notes in Formulator or not, the Sadler barn with these droppers last year, off of memory, seemed to run really, really well.
Yeah, and, I think when you have big owners that, have expensive horses and a lot of horses, I don't think they mind getting aggressive. I think we saw that last week with a horse called Direct Line. In fact, it's a great angle because, we just want to see him to get out there and win. And you put that angle behind it. I think you got a little more power there.
Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It also begins the $3 all-turf pick 3. And we kick things off going 1 mile on the turf course for fillies and mares. $25,000 is the claiming tag. A field of 7. Number 6, Kira Thunder, is the 8-5 morning line favorite from the Peter Urton barn. But before we get your thoughts on the race, Toby, we do know that you like the way number 4, Woodbine Way, worked last time out. The work was on December 29th, courtesy of our friends at xptv.com. Let's take a look at the workout for Woodbine Way. What did you like about this workout with Bobby Gonzalez in the saddle?
Well, the horse just had a nice steadiness about her, and I can see what they're trying to do here. They want this horse to stretch out. She's been a one-turn mare pretty much all the way through your entire form cycle. So they're trying to get her to relax. They're trying to get her to run in one pace, and it was mission accomplished. The work before this, Ricky's girlfriend, little Jessica Pfeiffer, was in the saddle, and she got the same result as Ricky did here today, just pushing the horse. And you could see the good pop in the step there, just a willing finish. And that's all I think they were looking for. You throw that nice final time on there, 1 minute and 2. One thing you're talking about as far as the workouts in the morning here, the track has not been fast. That's why today's work was a standout with hot. And that's why when you see 1 minute and 2 on a work like this, I think it holds some extra value.
We saw Woodbine Way's work. Is that your top selection in the race?
Yeah, she's my top selection. She's really run some nice races sprinting and on the turf, going the mile. I think she's going to get more of a chance to do what she did in that workout and just kind of relax. And you want to talk about jockeys? Our colony, there's no end to it, including the young talent. This rider here, JG Torrealba. This kid can ride. Boy, did I take notice of him right out of the gate. Literally, he was on a horse at Del Mar for me. And boy, he's a great gate rider, and what an asset that is.
And the key to me, Toby, is the barn he's riding for as well. Not only Mark Cassidy, but he's been riding for Steve Miotti, John Sadler, many others, to name just a few. And so once you see him basically gain entrance into those barns, you know that he has ability, and now he just has to prove it on the racetrack.
Yeah, and he's doing it. I think all these barns saw what I saw with those first couple of mounts, and they just jumped right in there.
You talked about number 6, Kiara Thunder, being your second choice. Last time out, really didn't have much room coming down the lane, was blocked, unable to find room until deep stretch. Certainly expect improvement, and of course, residing in the Red Hot Urton barn, that's probably the runner to beat.
Well, and prior to that race you were talking about, the horse was very rank. So there are excuses, but, you just kind of get tired of making excuses, and, we'll see what happens today.
Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4 sequence. We're going 1 mile on the main track for maiden special weight 3-year-old fillies. 2 scratches, scratch the 2 and the 5. That leaves us with a field of 4. All 4 are first-time Lasix users. Of course, horses that turn 3-year-olds, that turn 3 years old, can use Lasix. They're unable to do so as a 2-year-old. And the morning line favorite, likely to go lower, is number 4, Gate to Paradise from the John Sheriff's barn. Exits the grade 2 Chandelier in early October. Hasn't been seen since then, Toby. Did you see Gate to Paradise's work since then? And is she your top choice in the race?
Well, she is not my top choice in the race. I have seen the workouts. I think they're okay. But I've really been high on the number 1 horse in here for a long time. She's a Tempest. And I'll tell you one thing about her is I don't think she'll have any problem getting the distance today. And I think that is the bottom line to why I really like her. She's got the speed to clear the field. And the key is she's got to get the distance. Well, I think she's got a good long fuse to her. Her breeding on the bottom side especially proves that she should have it. I like this filly a lot today. The 3-horse Ultimate Authority is going to be my knockout, trying to bring some value to the situation. Her workouts are very much improved. And she's a strong-bodied filly that does cover some ground. I think she's going to be a lot of value in the exact. I'm going to play it this race 1 and 3.
Toby's top two choices, 1 and 3 in race number 6, both exited the same race. The first race at Del Mar on November 26th. It was a sprint race, and you can see Ultimate Authority actually showed speed for a quarter mile and then backed out. But as I mentioned, Toby, all runners add Lasix for today's performance. How do you factor that into your handicapping equation? It's a difficult question only because you don't know how they're going to react. They could substantially improve. They could basically stay the same. How do you treat not just any runners, but all runners that are first-time Lasix?
Well, in the case of now with the newly turned 3-year-olds, when basically you look at the page and they're all doing it, I think it's just not even worth the time to try to bother. I mean, some are going to react and some are not, and how are we to know that? I don't see any way that I've discovered yet.
Race number 7, we're back on the flat turf course. 6 furlongs the distance for Calbred, fillies, and mares. It's an allowance optional claiming race. Non-winners of 1 other than. There's 2 program scratches. Scratch the 1 and the 6 leaves us with a field of 8. Number 8, Song of Shadows from the Steve Miotti barn, ridden by J.G. Torrealba, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. There's finally some meat on the bone in this race, Toby. Who do you like and why?
Well, I like number 8, Song of Shadows in here. And I like this filly first and foremost because she is just a racehorse at heart. And she has proven that to me, not only in winning, but also in defeat. And her workouts are long and healthy and steady. So I think she's got that freshness angle working for her as well. Good outside draw here with the apprentice that we just talked about, who knows how to get them out of the gate and out on the lead here. So she's my choice. Number 7 for Pete Miller, Don't You Forget. That's going to be my second choice. Very, very erratic, quirky horse. The 7 horse, Don't You Forget. She can really run a turkey, or she can show up and win. So you want to talk about guesswork. She's kind of the header of guesswork to me, but if she does run her winning race, I think she can win. So 8-7.
Both of Toby's selections in race number 7, 8 and 7, won this condition on the main track, but given the rules in California, they're now allowed to run for the same condition on the turf course, which they're doing today. Toby, another general question for you. We've got some runners in here that last ran at Los Alamitos, and I always ask this question this time of the year. How do you kind of evaluate the Los Alamitos performance and translate it across town here to Santa Anita? There are 2 different types of racetracks. Some horses love Los Alamitos, some like Santa Anita more than Los Alamitos. Kind of just how do you interpret Los Alamitos form when you're looking at the racing form?
Well, first off, the general rule of thumb is turf horses seem to really like Los Alamitos much more so than dirt per se. A lot of that has to do with just the science of the surfaces. Los Alamitos is kind of a surface that is a finer texture. It's way more firm, and therefore you kind of just run over the top of it. The dirt course here at Santa Anita is a lot deeper. Therefore, you have to run through this turf course and
dirt course
here. So dirt horses run through the surfaces. Turf horses run over them. So I love the topic of surfaces, and on that note, we have a tremendous addition here as we speak. I'm watching all the construction every day of our training track, and I'm very excited about that addition going in here. I think it's going to make a tremendous difference, and as we merge and move things forward, it'll be a beautiful surface for hopefully a lot of horses coming down from Golden Gate Fields.
Toby Turrell, well-versed on many, many topics, which is why it's a pleasure to have him as our seminar guest today. Race number 8 begins the $1 golden hour pick 4 sequence. For sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the main track for $25,000 claimers. We've got a field of 8. Number 7, Patron de Oro from the Peter Miller barn is the 3-1 morning line choice. Missed the break last time out and lost all chance. However, there are 4 runners in this field who exited the same race. It was back on November 26th. It was the second race. Number 1, Lambo. Number 3, 3, Jamming Eddie, number 5, Impossible Task, and number 8, Established. All exit this same race. We're going to watch the replay and listen to Larry Colmus describe the action. I want you to pay attention to 2 of the runners. Number 1, Lambeau, and number 3, Jamming Eddie. They'll primarily finish 1, 2, but 4 of them finish basically as a dead heat, I should say, on the wire at the finish line. But let's listen to Larry Colmus describe the action back on November 26th.
They're off. Fairly even start. Jamming Eddie came out well there from the center. Lambeau now speeds up, and Disco Tribute between horses is now racing a joint second. Established is 4th on a compact field. They're able to slow down the pace for a sprint race. Only 3.5 lengths would separate them. At the back of the field are Impossible Task and Santos to Wilson trying to get off of the inside. Very bunched field goes to the half-mile pole, led by Lambeau crossing to the inside. He sets a moderate pace by 3 parts of a length. Disco Tribute with the white blinkers and Established and the white cap on the outside are second and third. Then it's the bright gray Jamming Eddie. Santos to Wilson, 2.5 lengths off the leaders, gotten off of the inside. Impossible Task now trails. 5/16 to go. Lambeau holds to a short lead, picks up the pace. Disco Tribute on the outside, Established. These 3 in a straight line now. Jamming Eddie needs room just behind on the inside, waiting for a seam. Coming on wide is Santos to Wilson, and even wider is Impossible Task. At the top of the stretch, Jamming Eddie tries to squeeze through on the inside. Lambeau, Established, Santos to Wilson, then it's Disco Tribute. In the final furlong, Lambeau digs in. Here's Santos to Wilson, then Established. Jamming Eddie on the inside too. It's a driving finish. Santos to Wilson, Lambeau staves off all challengers.
Toby, unless Larry Colmus is a ventriloquist, that was actually John Lees with the race call. Larry was out sick that particular week, and I forgot. But nevertheless, we saw Lambeau be very game and hold off Jamming Eddie on the outside. Lambeau, interestingly enough, now drops off the win. That's an unusual pattern for trainer John Sheriffs. He's begging to lose this horse, in my opinion. You don't like any of these runners. You're looking in a different direction, as we can see. You like a runner from the Brian Coroner barn.
Yeah, well, in the case of what I was talking about earlier, when you look at the big ownership lines, we lost a giant here, and Jerry Moss, and this horse now running for the estate. So who knows how that all works out, but obviously it may have something to do with moving the horse along. It may not. I'm just guessing there. But in the case of the 4-horse in here, Disco Ball, who is the horse that I like. Now, this is a horse taking, to me, the big significant drop in class, where the horse is now 7 years old. He's been just hooking freak performances right through his running lines. Moose Mitchell, Ghost of Midnight. I mean, we can go on and down the line.
Kid Corleone.
Lovesick Blues, who's one of the most genuine racehorses we have out here right now. Safa's Day, Law-Abiding Citizen. You just go, and the horse, the heartbreaking thing for me is a horse is such a great workhorse, and I just really like this horse because of that reason. I love watching him train. But now it's now or never for me for this horse today here. The horse should be the controlling speed. Hopefully, if he has to sit behind the 6-horse, that would be fine with me. But he is still training well, and I think today's the day that he's got to go out there and carry this speed. Jamming Eddie, you just watch that horse show nothing but guts on the rail. In that race, a lot of horses won't run with that kind of a trip, but he sure did, because he's another one of those veterans, 8 years old, that is just a stone cold racehorse, and he's in decent shape here. So he'll be hard knocking in this race at a big price, 10-1 here. So I'm going to go 4-3. This is, to me, the most competitive race of the day. And hopefully the most fruitful when it comes to the odds.
Toby's top pick, number 4, Disco Ball. We were talking about the glib surface cross town at Los Alamitos. You can see if you have the past performances in front of you, Disco Ball has 2 lifetime wins. Both of those career wins happened cross town at Los Alamitos. We'll see if he can get the victory today here at San Anita. He's 0 for 6 lifetime over this main track, but as Toby mentioned, takes a significant drop down in class. We close out the day in race number 9, sprinting on the turf course, 6 furlongs of the distance. It's a starter allowance race. Also race 9 begins begins the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double, similar concept as the Golden Hour Pick 4, except this wager requires you to pick the winner of the last race at San Anita with the last race at Golden Gate. We've got 3 scratches. Scratch the 5, Bags Gold, scratch the 8, Too Much Info, and scratch the 11, Trusty Rusty. That means number 10, Kimmer Will Run, and the Moyne Line favorite number 2, Lemon Sushi from the Val Brinkerhoff barn is 5-2 on the Moyne Line. Also keep in mind, live racing resumes tomorrow, Saturday, noon, first post, another 9 races. But first things first, Toby, who's going to win the nightcap?
I'm hoping it's the 7-horse Kid Azteca for Pete Miller, and he is going to Flavien Prat, hopefully for that money, turf money ride where he just gets his horse tucked in and relaxed and gets him to make that big late surge. I know this horse has it in him. The last time out, he was a newly minted gelding. And I think perhaps he might have run back, hopefully a little too close to that gelding is kind of an excuse I'm making for the horse. But the real excuse was he was very, very rank and really lost a ton of energy early on in the race. So much so there was no way to me he was going to finish after that. Now, we've talked about the formulator on here, and I'll talk about it again because, I'm seeing that I can go back 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races, and even more than that, and find winning trip notes and race lines that have been paying off, and they will continue to do so. That's the case here with the 7-horse. He's got a lot of back data and a lot of back races that make him the winner of this race if he can get the right trip and the right ride. And we've got Flavien Prat, hopefully, to ensure that on all accounts. The 6-horse Virat won very easily when last seen here on Breeders' Cup weekend. Been freshened up by Dan Blacker here. Got that dangerous speed. And he gets our jockey to the stars, Frank Dettori, to maybe guide him out on the lead. So a good way to end the day here. Very tough, good, solid race.
Toby, your top selection, number 7, Kid Azteca, has been training exclusively down at San Luis Rey since November 18th, when last seen in the afternoon at Delmar. Give us your 15-second sales pitch on why we should have cameras at San Luis Rey.
Because we've got cameras at Palm Meadows, Palm Beach, and Payson at Gulfstream. And here at Santa Anita, we don't have cameras at San Luis Rey. Does that answer the question?
We're spoiled handicappers, that for sure. We definitely have cameras here at Santa Anita. That's why we can watch workouts free of charge at xbtv.com. New Year's is for resolution, so maybe we can have a resolution that we'll get cameras down at San Luis Rey soon so we can watch those workouts as well. Toby, thanks so much for your time and insight today. It's always a pleasure having you. You're a walking encyclopedia of knowledge about the game. You love the game. It shows in your presentation. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll do it again soon.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure having you watch as well. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll do it again all over again tomorrow. 10:50 a.m. Pacific time is the start of the seminar. Have fun, everybody, today, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf firm, rail on the turf at 30 feet. Here are the changes once again. No updates since 30 minutes ago, no changes in the first. No changes in race 2. No high five in the third, scratch number 6, Chickasaw. Race 3, scratch number 6. No changes in the fourth. Fifth race starts the all-turf pick 3, as well as the late pick 5. No changes. In the 6th, no show wagering. Scratch 2, Halone. Scratch 5, Scarlet Avenue. Race 6, take out the 2 and 5. In the 7th, scratch 1 and 6. They're both program scratches. 8th race begins the golden hour pick 4 with a blinker note. 9th race, in addition to number 5, a program scratch. Scratch 8, too much info. Scratch 11, Trusty Rusty. 8 and 11 are out. Please note that number 10 draws in and will run. The traditional pick 6 is offered at Santa Anita Park. It's a $1 wager, and it begins with our 4th race. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. 28 minutes to post at 12 noon. And they're off.
14 minutes to post. It's a Friday, and on behalf of everyone here at First Racing, we want to welcome you to another beautiful 3-day of racing here at Santa Anita Park. Hi, everybody. Peter Lurie, alongside my partner, Michelle Yu. Michelle, by the way, congratulations. The Hansons got a victory over last week.
Yeah, it was very nice. I went down to Los Alamitos and had a little allowance win, so thumbs up.
I like that.
New Year's Eve.
Oh, that was New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's Eve.
See, you closed out on a positive. Now we just got to keep the momentum.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. We got a good day of racing here, 56,952 in that early pick 5 pool. No scratches, but a 1-2 favorite in this one. I don't like the 1-2, but Exultation, is this horse a horse to try to beat?
I mean, certainly is, right? He is in for the $50,000 tag, as is a lot of them. They're going 6 furlongs on the flat turf course here. And looking at this 9-year-old, he brings in 4 consecutive victories. He has won at this level. He has won at this distance. In fact, he's nearly perfect with 4 outs, 3 wins, and a second. So I certainly think that the distance suits. And I wouldn't be concerned about the little bit of the freshening because he has been able to win off extended layoffs, off middle layoffs, and off short layoffs as well. He's just a really cool horse for Peter Urton, who's done such an excellent job campaigning him.
I just think it comes down to the simple fact it's a 9-year-old gelding, and they're basically saying, look, if you want to pay, $50,000, good for you.
Well, there's not really another option for him. He tried the, non-winners of 2 allowance condition, and he just wasn't quite good enough. They've definitely found a home for him, and this is where he fits. So they'll just keep racking up checks as long as they can.
Horses into the ring. We're looking at the 2 horse. Currently 10-1 is Prince Lancelot for George Papapadromou. This is another one who's jumping back to the 50 level. They tried it 2 back here at Santa Anita. Was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, he finished 8th that day behind Exultation, and the runner-up that day, Cane Creek Road, did come back to win, although I think he won for 25, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, he won an allowance the next time, and then he came back for a tag, sorry. So he won the allowance. I think overall looking at him, the stretch out in distance, I don't know if it necessarily suits. He seems to do his better running a little bit shorter, in my opinion, which is kind of counterintuitive because he's a come from behind type.
Right. 5 horses, Jetivator, we just saw go by. Jetivator is gorgeous.
Mhm.
I'm just going to say it. 8-year-old son of Grayson, was a winner 3 back in April, and that was against the starter group.
And it was almost in gate to wire fashion. So looking for him to be forwardly placed, although I think Devil Moon will be your confirmed speed in here. It does give him first opportunity, though, to make a run at the leaders. And I wouldn't talk you off of him if you liked him. I really liked the one in here, though, Donkik for Vladimir Serin, who's getting a turn back in distance coming off a victory last time against starter horses. He's in here for the tag, which he hasn't been risked for the tag since he broke his maiden for 32, but we've certainly seen him run very competitively at that starter level, including the victory last time. I think 6 furlongs is going to be okay for him. He's winless at it. A little bit more distance might have been preferable. Going to get Frankie Dettori on, and the price is fantastic.
2 horses, Prince Lancelot, another for George Papapadromou. Decent third last time out, but they did get past. Kazushi Kimura will still looking for, actually, he's got a victory. He's looking for his second victory here at the meet. 68,113 in the pick 5 pool. We'll also be joined by Millie Ball down the paddock, over to Zoe Cadman and Jessica Pfeiffer out at the gate. First glance from Mr. Jeff Siegel. On behalf of everyone here at First Racing, welcome to a Friday at Santa Anita.
Rick Tyree brings him onto the track for the first race at Santa Anita Park. It's the beginning of the early pick 5. Post time in 10 minutes. There are no changes.